Do you know, in coding skills competitions or hackathons or in lead code problems, they will ask you to write a single program in 3 different methods. Today, I will explain that. And these 3 methods is very simple. It may be in some iterations, some simple program, using some wrapper classes or using some arrays. That there it will differ. Okay, we will discuss. Good morning students, welcome back to our channel Subhashri at the Tech Guide. Today the day 2 challenge for our coding skills. Okay, today I will explain some different types of programs. At least I will try to explain 3 programs in this class. And don't miss the second program. Second program I will explain in 3 different types of methods, so that you can be able to understand that you can write the programming in different iterations also, different looping structures, different wrapper classes, everything. Okay, this is one of the example, so that the program can be written in different modes. Okay, and without any delay, let us start the class.
So our day 2 challenge programs are, first program is regarding FizzBuzz problem. Okay, I will explain this FizzBuzz problem. After that we can go for the algorithm and even for the program. And second program today we are discussing about to find the maximum or minimum of an array elements. Next one is to find the longest palindromic substring in a given string. That means in a string we can find some palindromic substrings also. So we have to extract that palindromic substring from a given string. That is the problem. And the second one is maximum minimum of an array. Okay. First one is about the FizzBuzz problem. Let me explain the first program, that is our FizzBuzz problem. The FizzBuzz problem is common coding challenge. It requires to print the n value. That means, suppose if you take the n value, then the multiples of the 5 has to be filled with the buzz and the multiples of the 3 will fill with the fizz. If it is a multiple of both, then it will print as a FizzBuzz. That is the problem of the FizzBuzz. Have you understood? Let me explain again. So, if it is a multiples of the 3, then there you will get the fizz. Suppose for example, 1, 2, 3 is the multiple of 3, right? Then here you get fizz. Next, 4, 5 is multiple of buzz. So, you will get buzz. And suppose if you go like this, you will get 15. 15 is a multiple of both fizz and buzz. That is multiple of both 3 and 5. Then you will get FizzBuzz. Then it will stop. Okay. Not that it will stop. If your n value is more than 15, it will continue again up to you get the FizzBuzz. This is the problem of fizz and buzz. So the FizzBuzz problem is often used in the programming interviews. That's why I took this one. And if the candidate coding skills and understanding the basic program concept has to be tested, then this FizzBuzz problem is very important for coding skills. And the task to write the program is, suppose the printing of the 1 to given number n, then we have to make some modifications as I said before. For the numbers which are multiples of the 3, we have to print as fizz. For the numbers which are multiples of 5, you have to print as buzz. And the numbers which are multiples of both 3 and 5, then you will get the FizzBuzz. Instead of that number, it can be printed like this. If it is not a multiple of either, it is not a multiple of 3, either 5, then the number itself has to be printed. This is the main problem of the FizzBuzz. Let us see the output. Suppose if you take the n value is 15, then you will get 1, 2, 3. Here actually you should get the 3, but 3 is multiple of 3, right? Then you will get the fizz. 4 and 5. 5 is a multiple of 5. So buzz. 6 is multiple of 3. So fizz. 7, 8, 9 is multiple of 3. So if it is multiple of 3, you will get fizz. If it is multiple of 5, you will get buzz. If it is multiple of both 3 and 5, 15 is the multiple of both 3 and 5. Then you will get like FizzBuzz. So this is the program. Okay, let us see the algorithm for this. First, begin the program. Here I am discussing today only Java programming. So I am taking all the concepts of the Java. Even I am using the terminology of Java. Okay. So begin and import the scanner class because we have to initiate the input. Now prompt the user message requesting a number input. At first you have to accept some number. So send some input message by requesting a number input and utilize the scanner to capture the input by the user and assign it to some variable like n. Nothing but you have to write like scanner, initialize the scanner and take the value as n as the input and the value will be stored in the n. Okay. Now notify the user by console message that about the display of fizz, buzz and fizz buzz. Means give some information to the user that when you will get the fizz, when you will get the buzz and when you will get the fizz buzz numbers. So by using the print, that is system.out.println, give the information to the user so that it will be more efficient. Okay. Now initialize the loop from 1 to n. This loop will be continued until the n will become 0. Okay. So initialize a loop from 1 to n and this loop will continue until we satisfy the n. Right. Now check if the number I is divisible by 3 and 5. Then print fizz buzz. If the above condition is not met, then if I is divisible by the 3 and if it's true, we will print the fizz. If the number is divisible by the 5, if true, we will print the buzz. If none of the conditions are, that is, none of the number is divisible by 3 or 5, then the number itself I will be printed. Once the loop completes, entire process will be displayed as a output. Okay. Let us see the program using Java. So I have imported the scanner. Now class, using the class, at first accept the value by using the scanner so that you will get the number. Now next, take the input value and give some information that we are giving the fizz buzz and the fizz buzz numbers. Okay. Now see, for I 1 to less than or equals to n and the iteration has to be continued. If I modulus 3 equals to 0 because modulus indicates the remainder. So I modulus 3 is 0 and I modulus 5 is 0. If both are satisfied, then you have to print like fizz buzz. Else, if I modulus 3 is 0, then simply print as fizz. If I modulus 5 is 0, then simply print as buzz. Okay. And finally, if none of the condition is true, then you will print the I. Okay. Like this, we will print all the values. Okay. This is the program using Java for the regarding concept of fizz buzz. Try this program and you will get the output. Don't miss the algorithm. Learning the algorithm and explaining the algorithm at the competition level is very important. So don't miss that algorithms. Okay. We will go for the next program. Our next program is to find the maximum and minimum elements in an array. Okay. Now this algorithm, first I am writing like using a single loop. First initial the two values, that is in the array we have to find the maximum of small values and the minimum of the largest possible values. Okay. Here, for each element, we compare with the maximum. At first, we make the maximum initializing as 0. The first value of the maximum will be 0 and the first value of the minimum will be 0. We compare the value of the element in an array with this 0. And even for the minimum also, we compare with this 0. Okay. So, for each element, comparing with the max, update the max element. If it is greater, it will go into max. And compare with the minimum. If it is minimum, it will be, that is smaller, then it will be updated with the minimum. By the end of the loop, finally we will get the maximum value. The variable max will hold the maximum value and the minimum variable will hold the minimum value. Okay. Like this is find out. Even I am writing this program. Let me explain this algorithm in pseudocode format also. First take one function. Make max as 0 and min as 0. Find the element in our array. If element is greater than max, then max equals to that element which is in the array. If element is less than min, because at first we have to compare with the max and min. Suppose our first element is 20, 0 is compared with the 20. That is 20 is greater than max, right? So 20 is initialized to the max also. And 20 is initialized to the min also. So at first it goes the same value. But for the iteration of the second, it starts now. From now here onwards, we use and we compare the entire length of the array to find out the maximum and minimum value. Okay. So here you will get automatically the maximum value, and by using the minimum value, we will get automatically the minimum values also. Okay. Here you will get the minimum and here you will get the maximum value from an array. Like this, we find the maximum values and minimum value of the array. Here I have used all the classes and the methods so that the program will be more effective. And this program can be done in some different ways by using some different iterations, by using some looping, by using some arrays. Let me explain that one also, because I want to tell you that the directly writing the program is not right for every time. Maybe you will get like write the programming some different ways. We can write any program in by using three ways, either using looping, either using arrays or using the wrapper arrays, that is wrapper classes also. Let me explain this algorithm in three different ways. Okay. At first, let me explain you using the looping. Okay. Here, the looping means we have to take the length of the array. Consider the array values. Here I have initialized directly. If you want, you can go with the scanner. Okay. And you can read the values and initialize the maximum as a 0 and minimum as the 0 like an array. Okay. That means it is 0. The 0 value will be directly 12. So at first, the first value is stored in max and min. I am initializing the array index to the maximum and minimum. So the first value will be sent into, that is assigned into max or min. Okay, now we compare with that. So from 1 to the array length and up to the array length, we compare. Suppose the next value, because the first value is automatically assigned to the array, we can check with the next value, that is from a of 1. If a of 1 is greater than max, then that value is assigned to the max. If a of 1 is less than min, then that value is assigned to the min. Okay. Like this, finally you will get the maximum value and the minimum value. This is simply using the loopings, that is the iterations. Suppose if this program is using the array utilities. The array utilities are, you have to import the arrays, the package of array, then accept the values. Here we can use the method of streaming like max and we can get the values, and streaming like min. Here directly you can use the methods of array and importing the array values. So nothing logic is there. Automatically the predefined methods will calculate the max value and the min value of an array streams. Okay. And the third one is using the wrapper arrays. So using the wrapper array, we have the method of collections.max and collection.min, because I have imported the collection, list and array. Okay, these are the advanced topics of the arrays. Okay, so directly instead of writing the programming and the coding by logically, here maximum we are using the syntactical process of importing the different types of packages and accepting the methods of that packages and calculating the program. This gives more importance that you can know more logics about the Java. Okay, that is important. So this is one of the example so that we can write the program using the built-in methods and built-in packages also. Okay. Now the third program. Find the longest palindromic substring in a given string. Suppose for example, I have used the bananas. Okay, here my palindromic substring is A, N, A, and A. So this is my palindromic substring. So we have to find out which is the longest palindromic substring in a given string. That is the program. So we find this problem by finding the maximum length of the substring, and we find the concept of the palindromic substring, and we find out the program. Let me explain how can we find out the palindromic substring of a string. At first, this is my function. Okay, a user defined function. So here I will pass one string low and high from the longest path, that is from the main string. Here I am passing one longest path, and even I will find out how can we get the palindrome of a substring. Now at first, low less than high means the first value to the last value. At first we find the length here. We find the length first. Okay. So we call the function like this. At first, we find the length of a string, and all the substrings of a palindrome can be done here. So I need two variables. One is the maximum length and the start value. The start value is from the 0, and the maximum length at first I will take as 1. Okay. Now we need the two loops for first loop and the second loop, so that the nested loop can find out the main string and the substring. So to check the current substring, whether it is palindrome or not, now I am passing the first value I and j. That is the index of the substring. Then it moves to the function here, yes, low and high. It will check whether the caret low is not equals or equals. If it is not equals, it is returns false. If it is equal, then it will move to the next value. Okay. That means suppose if I take the B, A, N, A, and A, this is the low value, this is the high value. At first, it is not equal, right? Secondly, it is equal. If it is equal, it will move one step front, and the high will move one step back. That's why low plus plus and high minus minus. Like this, it will check entire string. Okay. And it returns the value until the max length is j minus I plus 1. That is, it moves to the starting. So low will start from the left side, I can say, and high will start from the right side. Like this, we can find the substring of a given string. This is the direct program I have given to you. You can try this program, and if you want, you can create one algorithm using the program. This is also one of the steps you have to improve by yourself. So this is the class about today. We discussed 3 programs here, 3 important programs which can be useful for your coding skills, and these are the most important programs in Java. This can be implemented even in the hackathons and the lead code problems, and even for the technical interviews also. Okay. This is the class about today. Thank you.
So this is the day 2 challenge for us. In this day 2 challenge, we discussed only Java programming, but you can try it in another different programming languages like C, C++ or Python. And meanwhile, I have explained everything in one single algorithm. Don't miss algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but steps to write a program, right? So you can write the program in any programming language if you know the algorithm. That's why learn algorithm and try to solve the program using the algorithm. And you can write this algorithm even in the hackathons or coding skills interviews or in the technical skills interviews also. If they ask particularly to write the program in a particular programming language, then you can use that programming language, right? And I hope you learned something from this video. If you learned something from this video, please like, share and subscribe. And I will be back with the day 3 challenge very soon. Thank you.